Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here again at Woo Network. We're going to see what's going on here with this guy. I actually got a lot of requests for this one, mainly because I think we had some community members trying to short this coin. We're going to talk a little bit about, why that may or may not be a good idea. We always want to look at some better worst case scenarios. So we'll just kind of go from there and see what happens here soon. If you're new to the channel though, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I love to teach people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. And if you do want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. We do have a Discord, public, of course. Feel free to jump on over there and get to know our traders. We also have a private group here as well where I send out trade signals. We took some nice profit from storage yesterday, 20% in 1 hour. And today so far, our trading bots basically are scalping Solana and ETH to the downside right now. So most of my bots are expecting prices to pull back and continue. And at this point, Woo is not doing so. So what does that mean for us? How do we approach that? What's the best practice here? So let's quickly look at the larger time frames here. We're going to just pull up the weekly and see if we can see any previous candlestick closures that might be important to recognize. With this previous liquidity sweep here at about 32 cents, we'll mark that on the charts just to see if we get a pullback. Potentially that might be a target area. We also got a resistance level here at roughly 62 cents. Okay, so again, I'm just pulling these levels out here, just kind of get perspective on some key takeaways, just in case the price action spends some time at those levels. Okay, again, this is the most recent low, most recent high. Okay, sorry, not most recent, 2022. It's roughly summer of last year's, but regardless, those are still relevant in the big picture. All right, so we'll talk about that in a moment. Taking a look at the daily. We want to just kind of acknowledge a few things here. Stochastic swinging down. We got a nice little convergence, looking for the swing back up. Price is back up over 70 on the RSI, and money flow index is still high. These are all positive contributing factors. Not really reasons to want to consider a short, at least not yet. Again, this is a daily time frame. I'm just summarizing what I see here so far. Everything combines together for a proper analysis. You don't just take a trade on the one time frame. Okay, so again, daily time frame looks pretty good, but you could say the same thing for most coins right now, right? Because they all swept up and have done very well for themselves for the last couple of weeks at least, right? So all that being said, we got to recognize there is some fair value here, of course, on the chart. Down as low as, what do you know, this previous week close here at about 32, upwards of 35. That could be a good profit target for a short consideration. 41 cents upwards of 42 and a half is a rough estimate. Okay, so price action could pull back to fill those gaps. But all in all, daily time frame looks pretty solid. Now, 4-hour time frame, this is where I usually like to focus my efforts. We can see we have this nice ascending trend concurrent with the 20 SMA. So all the more reason not to really consider a short because we are in a bullish uptrend. Let me rephrase that. If you're going to short conservatively and pay close attention, move your stop loss lower as you get into target, or get closer to your targets. Again, yes, I did say targets, not targets. And what I mean by that is that you want to have multiple profit targets at any given time. That's how we take such a large profit percentage in the overall sense. Because again, we're hitting third, fourth, fifth profit targets. Like for example, Luna 2 audio, 263%, 202%. Those are our secondary, third, maybe fourth, fifth targets. Okay, you want to have more than one goal. Key though is to take a decent amount of percentage on your first or second targets. That way, if the price turns back around, you adjust your stop loss to break even, you still walk away in the green. Okay, there's a certain strategy, certain way to do things, and all in and all out may not be the best strategy for swing trading. At least it works better for me to dollar cost average, to average in or average out of my position rather. I do DCA on the side, but that's a spot bag, whole other story. Cool. So now that we addressed that, let's talk about stochastic RSI being maxed out. It maxed itself out previously as well. Keep in mind, right here when the price action went up to this level here. So it doesn't really give you any good readings when it's maxed out. So at this point, we don't know if it's going to anticipate the price going higher or lower. So we can kind of disregard that for the moment. It's better on momentous swings, when you can kind of try to buy the dips, so to speak. This is not necessarily a selling, it doesn't really give us a sell signal. It's more so just telling us it's overextended. That said, RSI is up over 70, right around 76. Money flow index is falling behind. Those are positive signs. I know it seems crazy. Wait, overbought is a positive sign? It is in a sense because we are still considered bullish in this overall trend in crypto, just in general. Prices tend to stay overextended for some time. Now, speaking of overextension, we take a look at TD sequential. We're at an 8. We've been moving for 32 hours out of a potential of 36 to 48 hours of continuation in the same direction without retracement. If we look at its history, it hits 9s and turns itself around oftentimes. We saw a 9 here, minor dip before the price legged up, but generally speaking, you see 9s and the price tends to switch gears, okay? So that's good, It basically means it's moderately predictable. Okay, so again, all these things together combine for positive contributing factors to the upside, but we are looking for a pullback soon. If we do see a pullback, these are the levels you might want to expect. It's not a guarantee, of course, by any stretch, but oftentimes when you look at these kind of time frames, you want to recognize that we're in a situation, 0.5 is a very common retracement level. That 0.5 here that I have drawn out in the chart at 42 cents was a previous high. What do you know? It's not just the most recent, but a previous as well. Okay. Again, it goes way back here. But if you go all the way back, you can see that was, oh no, sorry, that was actually a low on the weekly. Correction, I'm sorry, I misspoke, but it's now a high effectively, right, if you consider it that. So again, right there at that level, we saw a bottom out on the weekly, which coincidentally right now is working out to be something along the lines of the daily support. Okay, so all that said, 4-hour time frame is telling us that this level of 42 cents could be a concentration level where the price action pulls back to. So if I were to short, I would short conservatively here, have some profit targets along the way, and be majority of my position out before that level hits, because we could very well see the price bounce and continue higher from here. Keep in mind, Elliott Wave is anticipating an ABC pattern from here, because this is hypothetically the top. I'm emphasizing the word hypothetically because we don't know it's the top yet, because we haven't topped out. But if we do pull back to this A pattern here, we can presume that we're going to establish a lower high and a lower low after. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking at there. All right, so just know this is positioning itself for something along those lines. So based on bigger picture, I think that there's stronger potential for us to see a pullback and or ABC pattern. But let's see what the hourly tells us here. Excuse me. And we're going to go ahead and go from there. So hourly time frame tells us we have all confirming factors for long position. There's no reason to consider shorting right now. Okay. So again, I know folks that are probably in a short right now are like, what do you mean it's going to pull back anyways? Why not short? Well, a lot of times you want to short with confirmation. This isn't the confirmation we're looking for. So in a sense, you're kind of risking the biscuit. Okay. In other words, you're trying to swim upstream. You're trying to do all sorts of analogies that work against you that are more effort than it should be if you're going smoothly with the current. Okay. So right now, I would not recommend shorting. I know it seems crazy because it does seem like it wants to pull back, and it is overextended. Bitcoin's pulling back. But the fact that Bitcoin is retracing and been in a descending channel, and this coin is just continues to go up, all the more reason we probably want to wait for that next overextension and to effectively go from there. To discuss that, I will post this on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord as per usual. What we can do is kind of summarize that the price action, if it continues higher by reversing fibs, you can see probably somewhere in the 53, 54 cent range. That would be more so a target that I'm going to be shooting for a short position. Now, it may never get there, and that's fine, but it's common for the price to wick up to that level or close that level when we have an overextension. And of course, we sweep the upper levels of liquidity. So we have some liquidity here, not a whole heck of a lot, but some that needs to be swept. And I think a lot of people have the same idea right now to short it because it's overextended. But I got to tell you, it's not really smart to short a coin that is overextended because it's overextended. And also specifically the fact that the market's majority of it's red, at least in my personal opinion. There's some outliers. These are going to be the coins that are going to be targeted for those liquidity sweeps. So I would say wait a little bit longer and then consider a short if you're insisting on that. Otherwise, a long position right now, technically, is more apt for success based on what we've seen here so far. All right, so again, that's kind of just how I do it. Deductive reasoning tells me not to short right now, but I would be considering a short if we get an alert somewhere in the 52 cent range. Okay, that's just me. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's okay if you disagree with this completely. That's perfectly fine. I've been wrong. I'm wrong maybe 5 to 10% of the time. So it's okay. It's no problem. I'm kidding mostly, but again, if you take a look at our trade results for this month to date so far, we've had a pretty solid return. So again, all the more reason to just be careful and cautious and respect the coins until they give you confirmation. And right now, we're not seeing any confirming factors just yet for a short. All right, folks, I hope this was helpful. Thanks again for watching. Oh, last but not least, be sure to check out this new exchange we're partnered with. Phenomenal exchange, Bitunix, no KYC, no VPN. Use my link to register before the year end, and you'll get that significant bonus rewards there for depositing and utilizing the exchange. Phenomenal exchange. I have walkthroughs in my Discord too if you're curious on how that works. I got some guides too. All right, folks. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.